Welcome back to Living It Up and Dating 101. And now we're going to talk about the right type of dating. You know, you can date the right way and you can also date the wrong way. And some safeguards for you in your dating relationships. And the first thing that you need to know about when you start to date is that dating should be based on friendship, not based on physicality. What do I mean physicality? I mean the holding of the hands, the kissing, the hugging, all that stuff. It doesn't need to be based on that. It needs to be based on friendship. First of all, physicality as a Christian can't go very far, can't do very much. That's for marriage. So what do? You might as well chill out and take your time, right? I mean, you can only kiss so much, you can only hold hands so much. And like I said last time, look, you need to talk to your parents about rules about that. You know, some parents have different thoughts about that. But the point is dating cannot be based on just the physical, because it is a small aspect of dating. The majority of dating is really about friendship, about hanging out and having a good time. Now, with that being said, here's some practical things when it comes to dating. And that is that you always date in public. Always date in public. There's nothing done in private. Now, we get into some good stuff here. That's right, because you know, Christians are funny and parents are funny sometimes when it comes to their Christian teenagers, because they think that my teenagers are Christian, they'll never fall into temptation, they'll never be tempted to do things they're not supposed to do. But the reality is that our bodies feel certain ways in certain type of situations. They have what we call hormones. And unfortunately, your hormones do not get saved. You have to keep your body under subjection. You have to keep your body under control. So we don't put ourselves in situations that we can be easily tempted. So dating in public is always a good thing. And how about this? How about doing double dates? How about dating with your friends? Just hanging out and having a good time. Because remember, dating is mostly about friendship. It's not about the physical aspect of it, because as Christians, there's not much physical that is done outside of marriage. Because remember, I've also said this before, that dating is not what? Marriage. Dating is not marriage. So we don't put ourselves in those situations where we're alone. We don't put ourselves in those situations where we're alone at home. We don't put ourselves in those situations. I've also said that dating has a beginning, a middle, and an end. There's no never-ending date. Oh, what do you want to do? Well, let's just go hang out. No, you need to know where you're going, what you're going to do, how long you're going to be there, and when you're going to come home. Why? So you can communicate that with your parents, and so that you just make sure that you keep yourself out of trouble. I mean, Proverbs chapter 6, verse 27 and 28 says this. Listen to this. Can a man scoop fire into his lap without his clothes being burned? Can a man walk on hot coals without his feet being scorched? In other words, you can't mess around with temptation without falling into temptation. So you got to go out and just have a good time. Have fun. Treat each other with respect. Treat each other right. Make sure that you treat each other the way that you should treat someone who is in the body of Christ. So yes, guys, that means you open the doors for the young ladies. Yes, that means that you treat them nice. Yes, that means that you don't walk ahead of them, but you let them walk ahead of you. That means, yes, that you don't make them pay. You pay. That's right. Yes, you pay. You don't have to, we have a saying around here at Faith Christian Center. There's no romance without finance. In other words, don't make a big date and then not have the ability to pay it, or make her pay it. No, guys, we step up and we pay it. Ladies, we treat that guy with respect. Ladies, we're very grateful when he takes you out on a date and he pays for your meal. No complaining, but being nice to each other. All these type things, these are practical aspects. And this is what you learn when you date. When you get outside of your family circle and you go out and you start going on a date, you start realizing that's a little more work than you thought it was, but also that you learn how to communicate with other people. You learn how to talk to other people. You learn how to treat other people with respect. You learn how to say the right things. You learn how to be grateful for things. And you learn that people have different personalities. Different personalities mean that you talk to people different ways. And so you begin to find out what those things are. Now, if you're going on a first date, I recommend you go on a double date as a first date. Why? Less pressure. Less pressure, less one-on-one time. It always cracks me up when I'm in a restaurant and we're sitting there at a restaurant, you look around and you see a young couple, obviously high school age, and they're out there and they're on the date and they're just sitting there at the table, and you can tell they're not really saying much and they're nervous because they realize it's not like the movies where there's music in the background, where there's fireworks that come off whenever the guy picks you up at home. And the guy should pick you up, by the way. Or whenever you walk into a room, there's the lights don't go a certain way, all those type things. You gotta learn how to talk to each other. You gotta learn how to what to talk about, the values to talk about, all those type things. So don't ever put yourself in a position where you're alone, but put yourself in public positions, or when you're at home with your family, when you're home with their family, making sure that you don't fall into those temptations. You've got to learn how to safeguard your dating relationship. Because like I said, you may be a Christian, and that's true, and you're saved, and that's great, but your body is not saved. So you got to make sure that you put yourself in positions to where your body is not going to override who you are and who you know that you are. So make sure you subscribe, like this video, give us a good old thumbs up, turn on the notifications, and be sure and share these videos with your friends so they can know what's the right way to date and what's the wrong way to date.